Hey friends, welcome back to a new video. Today I wanted to update you guys on my no buy challenge from last year. So last year I did a no buy Amazon challenge, and my challenge was not to buy anything from Amazon. My reason for this, for one, was to pursue a more slower life, a more simple, I guess more analog life as well. And Amazon in general, just for me at least, or I think for society in general, stands for same-day delivery, things being faster and cheaper and more available than ever, which definitely has its perks, but it does come at a cost. So I want to step away from this system of everything being faster and cheaper at the cost of the environment, but also at the cost of other people. There have been multiple complaints to or against Amazon when it comes to ethical practices and a safe and pleasant workplace. In turn, I wanted to try to support more brick and mortar stores, more independent stores, and help them and their businesses. So all in all, I did pretty well in this challenge. I didn't buy anything from Amazon, and it wasn't too difficult altogether. It wasn't something that was really hard. I didn't really miss it. There were, I think, one or two occasions where I did think to myself, oh, it would just be so much easier to just buy this from Amazon, but I did end up finding it somewhere else, so that was totally fine. There were a few things that I did realize were harder to get if you're not allowed to buy from Amazon. And for one, those were, I guess you could call it handyman tools. So when we moved into this flat in the beginning of last year, there were a few, I guess, tools that we needed. So the specific thing that we needed was a faucet seal ring. We were trying to connect or install our washing machine, and it was just leaking from the faucet once we connected it, and we thought we needed this seal ring to really seal up the connection. And it was just something really specific that was hard to get in person in stores. For us, the hardware store is just really far away. At least here in Germany, hardware stores are often these big kind of warehouse-like buildings. That means that you're not able to have those in the city, so they're usually more on the outside, and we don't have a car, and it would just be a pain to go all that way, travel all that way for just a tiny little item that we needed. So we ended up purchasing that from the online store of the hardware store, and that did come with a big shipping price tag, which is another benefit of Amazon, that you can buy a lot of different things and then have it delivered for free. Something else that was a little harder for us is when it comes to, I guess you could call it techie stuff. So we needed, again, something pretty specific, an adapter that converted from HDMI to VGA, I don't know what it's called. We just needed a specific adapter for our computer, connecting that to our projector, and that was also something that was pretty much impossible to get in person. Again, you have to go to an electronics store, and we only have like one or two of those in our city, also again pretty far away, and then there's no guarantee that they would have something like that. I would really doubt it if they did have something like that. In the end, my boyfriend purchased that from Amazon since he wasn't part of that challenge. Maybe you could call that kind of cheating. It was really difficult though. I seriously wouldn't know where else to go. Maybe buy it from some type of other website, but I don't think that the stores in person would have something that specific. Then again, something pretty specific that was hard to get was a very specific dog food for our dog. My family dog came to stay with us for 2 months, and the food ran out, and we had to kind of repurchase that. And again, maybe you could call this cheating. My boyfriend bought it from Amazon just because they only sold it on Amazon, and yeah, that was difficult to get elsewhere. In general, I was really happy I did this challenge though, because it did make me so much more conscious about where I buy my stuff and actually look at other possibilities at other stores, whether they carry it as well. And I try to shop more in person, to buy more things in physical stores, but I did realize it was really difficult. So nowadays, a lot of the stores don't have a lot of stuff. It just doesn't make sense for them to stock every single possible item, since it does cost a lot of money for them to have those things in stock. So a lot of the times, instead of buying it from Amazon, I just bought it from a different online store, which, I mean, on one hand, you're not supporting Amazon, but on the other hand, you're just buying it from a different big corporation. So still not really supporting brick and mortar stores, but for some products, it was just too difficult. And for online stores, it's just so much more cost efficient to have all those niche products. And there's even this theory of the long tail theory, where it talks about how that online stores often make the most profit from those very specific niche items that is just not worth it for physical stores to even have in stock. In general, this kind of limitation for me last year did force me to be more intentional with my purchases, to think about where else could I get them. But the intention with being slower and moving away from online and buying more physically from brick and mortar stores was more difficult than I thought. So for some items, I would even say impossible. So for very specific niche items, as I said, just because it's not worth it for those stores to stock these items. It just shows how much we've moved to online nowadays. So at least here in Germany, there isn't such a thing as an independent hardware store. Maybe there is one or two in the whole country, but in general, there's no such thing anymore. All these things have moved online to those big chain corporate hardware stores or to Amazon, but there's no independent brick and mortar hardware store anymore, which is really sad, because back in the day, there used to be these independent small hardware stores where there mostly was this old man selling really specific screws in all these tiny compartments and drawers, and that's just not the case anymore. Also, things like books are going more and more towards online or to these big corporations that sell books, but those independent small bookstores are going away. It has helped me pay more attention towards what company do I want to support, what shop, which owner do I want to support, because we tend to often forget that with each penny that we spend, we vote for a future of a certain company, we support a certain company. If that company isn't, for example, ethical or just doesn't go about their business in a way that you would like to support, then don't buy from them, don't give them your money, since it really makes a difference. We have so much consumer power that by changing where we buy our things, we can really show what we want, what is important to us. I definitely want to continue down this path of not necessarily never buying from Amazon, but trying to be more intentional, maybe buying it from other stores, supporting other companies, so that also the power of companies is more divided. I wanted to quickly add 2 sentences to what I just said. So the more you buy from a company, the more money it has, the more power and influence it has. And then it shifts away from a healthy competition between companies on the market and more towards a monopoly. And with all that power and influence, it can use that influence for beneficial things, which most companies do, since their goal is to make more and more money. And that means also away from the interest of the environment, of people, of an ethical practice. I want to try to buy from brick and mortar stores as much as possible, but as I learned from this past year, for some items that is just, it's too late. It's not possible to buy these in person anymore. But I was really positively surprised that it was very doable. I thought we are so much more attached to Amazon than we are. Yes, sure, it's very convenient, but if Amazon were to disappear, if life would still go on, things would still work, you could still get your stuff. I personally just really enjoy doing these types of challenges, since it helps me see things from a different perspective, test out limitations, test out what I'm capable of, the way I'm thinking. And yeah, I always learn a lot from these challenges, and they're a lot of fun. This year, I also definitely have a buying or no buying challenge. I will link that here or down below for you to watch. I think I will continue to do the one every single year. If you found this video helpful or interesting, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. I do a lot on minimalism, on healthy vegan eating, slow living, just having less, eating better, and living more. That's kind of the motto of my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.